Welcome to the Buy Canadian Super Hour. We are going to have a great time today. All right. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday at noon, and that means it's Buy Canadian time. Let's go Canadian shopping. We got a great show for you today. We got Lex from Lex's Pantry going to join us. We're going to talk spice. We're going to talk about her business. And we are also going to play some games. We are going to do our usual Canadian or not challenge. We're also going to be doing a giveaway today. Instead of the coupon, Lex's Pantry has kindly provided a Canadian sample pack, which is going to be available here as a giveaway. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to activate that let's see if we make this live here. Let's start the giveaway. All right. So to participate in the giveaway, you just got to put your email in, and we're going to be doing a draw later in the show. And so one lucky winner is going to get a free bag of delicious spice from Lex's Pantry, Canadian themed spice, which we'll be talking about today. We're going to be talking about some amazing products. We're also going to be doing a focus or a spotlight on the Guess Who, which is an amazing Canadian band, and that's how we're going to start. But let me just show you the product that we are featuring as today's giveaway. This is direct from Lex's Pantry. We'll walk through some of the stuff that's included in this pack once we bring Lex on the show. But I just want to show you what's available in today's giveaway, and it is this amazing Canadian flavor sample pack from Lex's Pantry. All right, you want to talk some music? I do. Before we do that, I just want to let everybody who's watching on the social know, if you want to come down to buycanadian.tv, that's the best way to interact with us in real time, ask questions, participate in the community. You can also buy products right on the screen. So right there, if you're watching on buycanadian.tv, right there in the chat room, there's a tab that allows you to go shopping, purchase items right on screen. Anytime anyone buys anything, we're going to play this fantastic sound. Oh yeah, the harps. We love that. So this is all about Canadian shopping. It's a celebration of Canadian brands. It's here to help the Canadian economy, and we're super excited about it all. So speaking of Canadian, let's talk a little bit about a great Canadian band, the Guess Who. I can tell you a little personal story that way back when I used to work at the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation on their live special events. And we used to do the Canada Day show. My job was to wrangle the talent, which was kind of like making them meet their cues for the live show. So one Canada Day, probably about 25 years ago now, I was put in charge of Burton Cummings, who is well known as a big part of the Guess Who. Hold on, I'm going to bring up a product here. So we're going to be selling some records while we talk about this. And Burton was fantastic, very compelling, told me some really interesting stories, including some far-fetched ones. I think he was trying to mess with me a little bit, talking about being abducted by aliens and stuff. He was quite a character. And in all the years that I did that gig for the CBC, he was the only talent that I lost during the show. I remember I was wearing a headset, something like this, and people were like, "Where's Burton? We need Burton now." And Burton had gone off to the craft services tent to eat a giant submarine sandwich. Anyway, that's my Burton Cummings story. I think it is. I think he does believe that, or at least at the time he did. But we have some interesting facts to share about the Guess Who, which I think is always kind of a fun part of the show here. So let's bring those up and just talk a little Guess Who. We have a few different albums available from our the fine Canadian music vinyl brand, Vinyl Pursuit. We've been doing really enjoying having them in the store. It gives us a fun thing to talk about in the Super Hour. People are buying these records all the time. So let's talk about the Guess Who and learn a little bit more. Maybe there's some stuff in here that you haven't heard before. You can buy these albums right on the screen. I'm featuring the right now, the Super Golden Goodies from 1969. But we got a ton of different Guess Who albums available, so feel free to buy. Thanks, Schumacher. Yeah, it was a pretty cool story. I have a whole bunch of stories from those days. It was kind of a fun gig, getting to work with all those Canadian brands. Maybe we'll share more stories as we highlight more Canadian talent. But today is all about spotlighting the Guess Who. So the Guess Who began in beautiful Winnipeg, Manitoba in 1962. They started as Chad Allen and the Reflections. The Guess Who name was used in 1965 as a marketing ploy to make their single sound like a British invasion mystery band. It seemed to work, so some great marketing thoughts there. The cover of their 1965 hit Shakin' All Over went to #1 in Canada and cracked the US top 30, giving them their first international success. We all know the song, These Eyes. It reached #6 on the Billboard Hot 100 in April 1969 and became the first million-selling single by a Canadian rock group. And that's, I think, a pretty big accomplishment. Let's go, Canada. Let's make some hits. American Woman spent 3 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in May 1970. And it was the first U.S. #1 single by a band from Canada and was unofficially banned from the White House performances for its anti-war tone. So again, Canadians making statements in America that are resonating. That same album, the American Woman album, earned the RIAA Platinum certification, making the Guess Who the first Canadian band to achieve that milestone in the United States. Guitarist Randy Bachman left in mid-1970 due to health issues and later formed Bachman-Turner Overdrive, scoring more international hits. So the Guess Who really had a lot of talent. Between 1969 and 1971, the band chalked up 6 U.S. top 10 singles, including Laughing, No Time, No Sugar Tonight, and Share the Land, all of which were great songs, big hits. The bassist Jim Cale trademarked the Guess Who name in 1986, allowing him to tour with a new lineup, and that was after the original members had split. But the classic lineup reunited for the massive SARS benefit concert. I don't know if anyone remembers that one. Pre-pandemic pandemic scare. That was in Toronto on July 30th, 2003. And they performed before an estimated 450,000 fans alongside the Rolling Stones and AC/DC. That's a pretty big crowd. That's 10 times more than go to the Jays games, which is already a pretty crowded scene right now. The Guess Who was inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame in 1987, and they also received a star on Canada's Walk of Fame in the year 2001. So, very cool. Nice to see the stuff going on with the Guess Who. We have a few albums. We have the 7-inch single from 1980 available here. That's the got American Woman on one side and No Sugar Tonight on the other. We also got a 1974 7-inch single, which includes Clap for the Wolfman and Road Food, which probably in 1970 was not those terrible rest stops along the highway. It was probably a delicious diner meal. There's a bunch of albums here. We got The Power in the Music, the 1972 pressing of Rockin', and the 7-inch original 1966 original single, His Girl. So lots of Guess Who options. You can buy those throughout the show. If you're watching on the social networks, come on down to buycanadian.tv, where you can join us in some real-time conversation and have purchase items right on screen. Okay, so without further ado, I want to bring on our very special guest, Lex from Lex's Pantry, and we're going to talk some spice. Okay, so before I bring Lex on, let's bring our products on. We'll start with the Canadian flavor sample pack and dig deeper from there. But Lex, welcome. It's great to have you on the show.
Hi, guys. It's delightful to be here. I'm hoping the mic is working correctly because I had it on mute and sometimes it doesn't come back right.
So I think, is this a comment from you about the Voyageur restaurants?
Yes, it is for me. So I used to, I grew up in the Maritimes until I was about 11, and we would drive to see my grandparents in both Ottawa and, let's call it out, Winnipeg,
Let's go.
where my mother was connected to the Guess Who. So we got a connection happening already. Sorry about all the finger pointing. Anyway, when we were driving across the country, there were these voyageur restaurants. A lot of the spots where the ones in Ontario are now called en routes, those were full on diners, and we would stop in there, and I would get this amazing fried chicken dish, and sometimes I'd get spaghetti because, of course, I didn't get those dishes at home ever. Or chocolate milk too. Also another thing I was not allowed. Soda pop and chocolate milk, not allowed at home.
Right.
So I remember them vividly as these incredible road stops, and that driving across Canada is such an incredible experience as a child, even as an adult. But the restaurants made a big difference.
Now it really, I want to get into talking about your business, but just to finish the thoughts on that, like it is a real downgrade to go from those voyageurs to those en routes. Like the en routes just filled with fast food chains, whereas the voyageur, they actually had someone cooking on a griddle, I assume, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one of the good things about the en route that's been happening lately, at least in and around the GTA, is that they've been bringing in farmers markets. So many of the stops, you will see a trailer there that is selling fresh produce and fruit and vegetables from local markets, which is a really exciting addition to road tripping. And,
Yes.
it gives you the option to eat at least your snacks from somebody local and not multinational.
This
And
is
as you know,
amazing.
I'm local, local, local.
I know you are, and we're so excited to have you here today, and as part of the Buy Canadian online department store, where we're bringing together the best of Canadian products, so Canadians can easily discover and purchase confidently products from Canadian brands. So, tell us a little bit about the business. I know, like, your bio is amazing. You've been a culinary judge. You've worked the scene. Just tell us a little bit about how the business started.
Well, I'm gonna go with the dramatic version. How about?
That's what I
So
like.
there I was at the spa. My friend was thanking me for helping her run a digital campaign and a digital auction to we raised about 250 grand to help her brother who had just had a very bad accident, became a paraplegic and needed to revamp their home. So my friend took me out for a day, and it was an exciting day, and it ended up at the spa. And as she was off getting a massage, I got a head injury.
Oh no,
So, yes. So I was in
at the
the
spa.
sauna. I know, right?
Sauna
So I was
injury.
in the
Okay, I'll let you
sauna,
finish.
and somebody put a step in that wasn't attached to anything. So when I came down from the top level, I stepped on it, it went out, my bum went down, my head went back on the oak.
Ow.
2 years later, I was able to work sort of normally ish, and COVID hit. So all of my clients had kind of dried up. I was consulting back then, digital marketing.
Mhm.
And so we dug back into our little black book of ideas. And I'd been developing spice blends for my own use at home for over 30 years. It starts with that taco spice from the grocery store doesn't taste quite right. What the hell is that ingredient? Oh my God, I want this to taste better. Why can't somebody make a good butter masala so I can have good butter chicken at home? Um, and so my friend said, well, why don't you take the spices to market? And that was about 2.5 years ago. And we've been full bore with From Lex's Pantry since then. And it's been an exciting ride. Um,
That's amazing. We have a little video I was thinking of
oh,
putting on now. So it's just 8 seconds, but I think it shows. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it showed some action from the market. So it's the Sundays video. I'm just going to play it, and then we can talk about it.
cool.
It's only 8 seconds here.
Sundays are for checking inventory and making sure we've got all the spices we need.
So that's amazing. Like it's a clip, but you get a little taste of some of the how that works. So tell us a little bit about what we saw there, if you don't mind.
Wow. So In order to ensure that I have enough spices at each market, I have to continually do inventory. These boxes back here are less full than they should be because I'm going into the kitchen next Tuesday. And we do all of our mixing like anybody who you are shopping from at a farmer's market. At least in Ontario right now, they need to be doing their food prep in a commercial kitchen.
Right.
So we don't have a commercial kitchen in our home. Some people do. So we rent one from the East End Food Hub, which also does a bunch of good food stuff for food insecurity situations here in Toronto. So we rent that kitchen and we are doing our mixing there. So what you saw in the video was initially a shot of a bunch of our products laid out. We've got over 30 blends available through the website. And that's before you start adding in the salt free, sugar free, extra
Right.
spicy, extra garlic versions. And some of,
Oh, we lost your audio there.
oh,
There, you're back.
do you have me back? Okay. And so, yeah, so we've got a lot of products, probably too many, but such is life. I like to overwhelm everybody. And you saw some of the mixing that also happens in the kitchen where we're combining the ingredients to blend the spice blends that we provide because we don't sell sumac or turmeric straight up. We sell blends. We sell
Right.
blends that are designed to help you make your cooking easier and get restaurant quality flavors.
That's wonderful. So basically, you take some of your culinary skills and you do that magic chemistry to kind of help people at home pick up one package of spice and have it all be just perfect. Is that right? I don't know why your audio disappeared again. Check one. That's okay. Let's get you back. Oh, maybe check your mic connection.
My,
There you are. We got you back. I don't know why it's going
my
in and out, but
my microphone button somehow seems to getting clicked off. Anyway, that's tech. I'll keep an eye on it. Sorry about that, guys. Don't know when you lost me, but I was talking. That's what was happening. I
yeah,
was
we were
talking.
talking about how you kind of build those blends and you bring your
Oh,
expertise into, um, going beyond just buying like single spices like turmeric to like, hey, here's something that can help to, for example, recreate the Danforth Greek flavor. And I've got that featured up here right now.
oh, right on. So I grew up on an organic farm with a chef as a father. Some of the time I was off the grid, offshore, no electricity, running water if I ran it from the well.
Mhm.
So when we wanted specific flavors, we had to figure out how to make them. And so we spend a lot of time dissecting flavors and identifying what would make a mix better, what would work well with different meats, different proteins, with eggs, with vegetables, and things like that. That has all gone into this. Then I also am a professional food critic because another business, when I pulled from my little black book, I wrote a couple of best selling restaurant guides for Toronto and Ottawa,
Oh, cool.
just on the side when my tech career kind of took a dive around the Y2K situation. I'm just saying.
Right.
So,
You're like a
yes.
Renaissance woman for sure. So many skills.
Or you can't keep my fingers out of whatever's in front of me. I'm very, very interested, but I'm also very, very fussy. So, I don't put spice blends on the table that I don't think are good enough. The Danforth Greek that you mentioned and highlighted just a moment ago is actually, see, I pulled them too,
Oh,
is actually our bestseller by far. It's herbaceous and garlicky, perfect for making souvlaki, salad dressing, roasted potatoes. I also put it in my eggs with a little bit of feta cheese, and if I'm feeling fancy, a little minced olive or diced red pepper to make like a Greek omelet without the
delicious.
omelet. I like scrambled.
That's really good. And I suppose these recipes are secret. Or are you allowed to tell us what's some of the stuff that's in the Greek spice blend?
I sure can. I have to wear my glasses to do it though,
Yeah, that's fine.
because that previously mentioned concussion means that I don't even remember my own recipes, which I hate.
Helps keep
But
it secret. If you're ever captured, no one can pull that out of you.
right, it's exactly right. No, and all the ingredients are on the back of every package listed under the QR code. The QR code takes you to recipes on our website
Oh, that's
to
great.
help you work with them.
Now I've
So,
got
Dan,
a pack of shawarma spice, and I can show the recipe here just so people can see what we're talking
nice.
about. Like, they're available online, but they also come right in the package, which is super convenient.
Well, I was trying to make it as easy as possible for people to use it, but if you order it twice, I'm not sending it the second time. I like trees too much. I like hugging them. Okay, so
Smart.
the Danforth Greek, for example, has garlic, salt, onion, oregano, black pepper, bay leaf, parsley, marjoram, mint, thyme, and lemon zest.
I was thinking lemon zest was probably
Ah,
a secret ingredient there.
and it's interesting because some of those things people will taste it at the market and say, "Oh, I taste the dill." And I'm like, "There's no dill in that." And it's fascinating what your palate will do when
Right.
you're expecting a certain flavor and you get something in the same range.
With the blends, yeah. Um,
Mm,
let's talk a little bit about what comes in the Canadian flavor sample pack. I think Danforth's in there, right?
it absolutely is. So I made this specifically because of the Buy Canadian initiative.
Cool.
I've been thinking about this for a while. So in the Canadian sampler pack, you get a sample size bag
I'm
of Danforth Greek,
mm.
a bag of Preston Italian. Now, here's a fun little trivia question. Why did I name it Preston Italian? We'll come
Ottawa.
back to that. Yes,
I'm
yes,
from Ottawa,
exactly.
so I know Preston. That's where my grandmother used to live, right around there. So we'd go out to dinner there all the time. Fantastic kind of little Italy neighborhood in the nation's capital.
Exactly. Exactly. And the Preston Italian is salt free and sugar free as well. So
Mm,
nice grandma tie in.
love
Just
it.
saying. And then my Halifax Donair. I know that these are backwards for you guys. And on the back of these ones, we also have the recipes and more information. Now, the Halifax Donair, do you guys know about Halifax Donair and why it's special?
I would love to learn. Like, I know that they've got that weird sweet sauce, but I don't think that's necessarily what you've got here.
Well,
Chicken
actually,
spice?
this is not for making the donair sauce. This is for making the
Right.
donair meat, like the gyro. But what happened was in the 1970s, and I was living in the Maritimes at the time, so I was actually aware of this activity. A gentleman came over from Europe, and he wanted to open a fast food restaurant. So he decided to be selling gyros and stuff like that with tzatziki. But the maritime palate wasn't ready for that kind of intense garlic flavor and that kind of intensity in the spicy meat. So he took a step back and revamped the spice blends. So when people say, well, gyros and donair are the same or it's the same as shawarma, it's not. This is a truly Canadian blend. And you mix this in with the meat, you essentially make a meatloaf with it.
Mm.
And then you slice it off, put it on the grill for that nice sizzly, and then you mix up your donair sauce, which is crazy stupid easy to make, which is why I don't have a spice blend for it. You and there's two
Tell us how.
versions of it, and there's a debate about which one you're supposed to do, whether you make it with tinned milk or sweetened condensed milk. Both recipes are on the website. Jerry, my partner, doesn't like donair sauce, so he eats the donair, but he puts tzatziki on it,
More traditional.
completing the circle. The other thing I do with this one is I mix it into ground beef and I make it into burgers. So if you
Oh,
look at
that's
our
a great idea.
right? So a lot of our things have a lot of versatility, and you can turn them into other flavors or other quicker meals to prepare. Like my porchetta, you can make a full-on porchetta. It's like a giant, roast pork thing, or you can sprinkle it on your pork chop or chicken breast, and bing, bang, boom, you've got those flavors without all that effort.
So when you're buying spice from Lex's Pantry, which you can do right here on the show, by the way, or anytime at buycanadiangroup.ca, where we have a wonderful selection of Canadian products. When you're buying spice from Lex's Pantry, you're almost buying a recipe book. You're almost buying a meal plan. it's more than just the spice. It's like, hey, what do you do with the spice? And it feels like you were kind of a predecessor to some of these, you know, these prepackaged meal plans that come with the already mixed spice blends.
Well, my business didn't exist before them, but I was doing it at home myself because I want to be able to take like another thing that's in there is our Bay Burger blend. I
Mm,
want to hand this to Jerry, my partner,
I think we've
and
got
say,
some
honey, I want
here.
burgers. I want them to taste like this.
So,
And I
what
don't
is the
have
Bay Burger blend? Like, is that Hudson Bay
Hudson's Bay or Horseshoe Bay
or Shoe Bay?
or Bay of Fundy
It's any
or
Canadian bay
Bay Street.
except the Bay department store,
Right?
Bay Street.
So one of the things about this one is that we had a hiccup in the kitchen. So when we were talking about how do these get invented, sometimes you're in the kitchen and you're working on an Argentinian inspired steak rub called Bricklayer, and your lovely and delightful partner is working on the Montreal steak rub, and he does the grind for the Montreal steak and dumps it in the wrong container.
Oh,
And then you swear for an hour and you say, well, people have been asking for a burger blend. You figure out how to tweak it a little bit. You put it on the table at the markets just to get rid of like the
the
two
mistake.
kilos of spice
Whoa.
that you just mixed, and it becomes a bestseller,
That's
right?
amazing. That's I love stories like that. So many of the greatest inventions in the world happen by accident, just like that.
Exactly. And that is how some of our spice blends happen. I do swear quite a lot. I'm trying not to on here, but in the kitchen, Jerry makes the joke that, it's just a Tuesday when I'm swearing for an hour. And the final the final one in the Canadian sampler, and you'll notice they're all referencing Canadian points of interest, places where our lives happen,
Yeah.
and things we love. This is my Montreal Red.
Mm.
Now, you might not be able to read it backwards like that, but the Montreal Red is designed as a chicken rub. It's a little smoky, a little sweet, a little spicy. It's fantastic on sweet potato fries. It's
Mm.
great as a Caesar rimmer. It's lovely mixed into eggs. People are using it as in I use this shit on everything. I have people saying to me that Montreal Red, that is like the universal spice. I'm using it on my trout. I'm using it on my potatoes. I'm using it when I'm making asparagus. I'm using it on everything. I use it in my gravy in lieu of salt and pepper because it's more complex and it adds this, I'm going to say it, element of intrigue to your gravy.
Well, the Montreal blend is available, or the Montreal Red, I should say, is available on the buycanadiangroup.ca. I neglected to add it to today's show lineup, but you can buy it right now at buycanadiangroup.ca.
And all these blends are available at this size in the sampler pack or full size through Buy Canadian Group, right?
Fantastic.
And you can get them salt free and sugar free through your site as well, which means
That's
that if you have a dietary constraint, you can quickly and easily pick a product that will suit your dietary needs. These are all gluten free and vegan and dairy free and nut free and preservative free as well. Did I mention that before?
Well, I think it's important to mention it again because a lot of folks have dietary restrictions, and I think it's really amazing that you're able to offer the same experience to them as you do to those who maybe have no problems with what they eat. I know you guys do a lot of like touring around and like in-person craft fairs. Tell us about that. Do you go all over Canada? Is that kind of how you really connect with Canadians and customers?
Well, I would like to be doing all over Canada. I have this little vain hope of a year-long market tour where we're selling spices from coast to coast.
Wow.
Currently, we are selling within the area that we live mostly. So we're currently in downtown Toronto, and I do markets as far north as Barrie.
Mhm.
Um, we don't go very far east, though I have been trying to get a market in Kingston so I can spend some time with my mom.
Nice.
Hi, Mom, if you're watching, I love you. Uh, and we do markets as far west as Wellesley, which is kind of near Waterloo, which is where my in laws are. Hi, Rosemary, if you're watching, thanks for tuning in.
Hi, Rosemary.
Um, and just in case you didn't know this, also, Rosemary and my in laws are the people who make Thorpe toys. So we could talk about that
Oh,
later too.
fantastic. I'm hoping to have them come on a future super hour because Thorpe Toys is, a classic Canadian company. And we're really proud to have them in the Buy Canadian Group store. Um, that's really cool. Um, that's,
So I do tour around. I do talk to a lot of people. In fact, the reason I'm going to just keep talking,
yeah.
David. You have to cut me off if you don't want. If you want to do
Uh,
anything else in the
Oh,
show,
we got Dirty Dill. I got a graphic here. So keep talking. I think everyone will be able to hear you. I'm just going to bring up the picture of the Dirty Dill.
right
That's the
on.
Danforth Greek.
So
All right, let's
this is
talk
the
Dirty
dirty
Dill.
dill. And there's a customer story about this because my customers were tasting the dill in the Danforth, and I try not to correct my customers too often, but they started demanding that I have a dill product on the table, and I didn't have one. So my customer, Talon, who is at the Underpass Farmers Market, or he's a regular, he kept bugging me. Do you have it yet? Do you have one yet? Do you have one yet? And so I took a dill pickle recipe, a spicy dill pickle recipe that I have that I make with a ground allspice. Seems weird, made the pickles look really dirty, but taste amazing. So I adapted that into this spice blend and made it into something that we can use with fish. I like it on trout. I prefer trout to salmon. It works great on salmon too, I'm sure, but I don't want to
I
eat salmon.
also
So it's
prefer trout.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
It's fantastic on steamed green beans tossed with butter. I have a customer who's making her potato salad with it. We've got a recipe on the website for tuna salad, for a tuna salad sandwich with it. Jerry just takes it and sprinkles it on his potato chips and then just eats them rather than buying spicy dill potato chips at the grocery store with those extra things in it. Get a plain potato chip, buy one or a salt and vinegar, buy some of my spice blend, bing bang boom. You've got all these flavors playing around in your mouth. And the dirty dill, as soon as I put it on the table, it sounds vain, I don't mean it to, but as soon as I put it on the table, people were buying it even when I wasn't sampling it. Ooh, dill, I want. Dill, 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 dill.
that's
So
amazing. And it's the all.
Talon
Did you say that it was the
Talon
all?
turned this into a real product. Go
And
ahead.
it sounds so delicious. And so you're saying allspice is what makes it. I was going to ask what makes the dill dirty, but you're.
Well, when you taste it, it's actually there's a little kick of heat right at the tail end.
Mm.
So a lot of people think that's the dirty edge. The reason it's called dirty is because of the allspice, the ground allspice in it. And the color is, it's not purely, I'm not sure if we can get a good
Oh yeah, we got a great look at
color
that.
there.
That's a good shot. Beautiful.
So it's got little edges of sort of more khaki than green because of that. But there's a hell of a lot of dill and garlic in there too.
So what's in allspice? Is that cloves? A little bit of
No,
cloves?
allspice is actually a berry. So if you've
Ah,
been eating jerk and oh, even apple pie spices, there is a little berry. It's a little round berry that's a bit bigger than a black pepper and not kind of as crinkly. And that's an allspice berry. The flavors come through. You will have tasted it if you do jerk at all.
yeah.
Um, that sounds wrong. Anyway, it is a standard ingredient in pickling spice. People don't notice it with the other spices when they're whole, but that's what it is, and it brings this fun fun extra layer of flavor that you're not expecting to things.
I thought we might play a little game here because I have some shawarma spice, and my
Hmm.
eyes are also terrible, so I won't read the ingredients and cheat.
I I can loan you the glasses. Nope.
I actually have them. I just don't. I recently got reading glasses and then haven't actually worn them very much. Uh,
Right.
but what I was thinking we could do is in a previous episode, which I think you missed, I
Yes.
actually did an unboxing of the shawarma spice and a taste. So, and I'm like anxious to taste again and to try to
Okay.
guess um, some of the spices that make it into the shawarma spice. And then you,
Okay, let me haul up my recipe so that I can see it.
okay, good. Tell me when you're ready.
One moment, please.
While you're doing that, I'm just gonna say this smells fantastic. uh,
I'm so
Jeff
glad.
in the audience is saying that they look generously packed. And that's exactly right. These things are jammed. You can see the width here. They're jammed with delicious spice. This is the shawarma blend here.
And they're hand packed by me.
They're hand packed.
Eh, oh yeah. Oh yeah, cuz I want to make sure that there's no cross contamination of the allergens. So we're very, very careful. We're not a big enough company yet to get a packing machine. And I want to keep control over the mixing as long as I can. What that means is that every time you're tasting a spice, I have mixed it, I have quality checked it, and either myself or Jerry has shoved it in a bag for you. So you're getting
Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
it's
What?
your show, my friend. You're getting about 45 grams in most bags. In the Danforth Greek and the Preston Italian, you're getting 25 grams because it can't get 45 grams in the bag.
Now, did you ever have any plans to actually take this into stores, like develop as you were saying, like an actual machine, going a little bit scaling up to the point where maybe you can get it in one of the big grocery stores? Because I mean, the quality is so fantastic. I think it would take off across the country.
Um, it's a consideration. As you can see from the reflective nature of my hair, I'm at a certain age, and while I would love to see people across Canada and beyond enjoying these spices intensely, what I have learned over the last 2.5 years is that people need to try them to really appreciate the
Yep.
quality of what we're doing. And if somebody wants a taco spice, it's a hard sell to buy a $9 bag of taco spice from me when you can get 99-cent taco spice from a big grocer that's Canada wide. So
Right.
putting it in the grocery stores, the competition would be challenging. And we've done a couple of retail things. Unless I've got a customer base in that space, the online solution is better for us.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I mean, we're happy to feature it in our department store, and online makes it so much easier because you don't have to, I don't even know how it works to get your stuff into a grocery store, but I'm sure it ain't easy.
Well, more importantly, you're getting a fresher blend. When you buy from me or through Buy Canadian, you are getting a blend that Jerry and I went into the kitchen and blended. It didn't sit on that grocery store shelf for 6 months until you bought it, and
Right.
God only knows how long before they took the other box out of the way. So what you're getting is freshly ground, fresh spices. I want you to use it as quickly as possible, so you're getting all the aromatics and all the flavor. And I don't put preservatives in there. I don't put life extending things in there. So use that shawarma up quickly.
Yeah.
Now you were going to guess,
Oh
weren't you?
yeah. Okay. I took snuck a little taste, and I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be able to get this right, but I'm going to try. So I'm now
Okay.
opening up the shawarma pack. I've taken a pinch. I'm going to place it upon my tongue. It's so good. So is there allspice in this?
There is allspice, a
Yeah.
very small amount. Well
I'm
done.
off to a good start because it does have a little hit after the first flavor.
Mm.
Uh, I need to have a bit more.
Now, one of the things about the shawarma blend is it is one of our more complex blends.
Yeah, I like a good challenge.
You gave yourself one.
Cloves.
Yes, there's a little bit of cloves in there.
Okay, I'm on a roll here. Um, is there somewhere in the background like a touch of uh, cumin, maybe?
Yes, indeed, there's a little bit of cumin in there.
Right, 3 for 3.
And that's a
Uh,
freshly ground. We go from seed and grind that down into the blend.
and now I'm not sure I can taste it, but would there be sort of a bear kind of flavor going, maybe because the bear berry the
That's
also a blend?
It's a blend as well. So you're going to have parallel. parallel flavors because there's parallel ingredients. You've got
Okay.
9 more ingredients to go, my
Oh
friend.
no, I don't know if anyone wants it. I think I may. Okay, let me just see if I can guess one more so I can increase the challenge here. I'm just eating this out of the box. This is amazing. I think it'd be good on popcorn, actually.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, is there a touch of lemon in this as well?
There is not.
Oh, hold on.
However, there's a reason you're picking that up. You want me to tell you what it is?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we have both freshly ground cardamom and
Cardamom.
coriander in there. And the coriander will bring up some of the lemon flavors, and the cardamom will pick up some extra edges for that as well.
Well, it's truly delicious. And I know you were telling me that you can actually marinate some chicken. You don't need to have the big spit to make a shawarma. You can actually marinate some chicken. And you were saying lemon and yogurt, right? To
Yeah, absolutely.
really give it that deep flavor. And then you can use the spice to have a shawarma flavored chicken breast or a shish kebab. It doesn't need to be the shaved chicken that you maybe think of when you go to a Lebanese food stand.
Absolutely. But there's also a quick technique to make it like that. So if you wanted to have that kind of crispy edge and shave it off, half an onion, put it in the bottom of a roasting pan, put in 4 skewers, marinate your chicken thighs because they have richer flavors, thread them on top, and then roast it that way. And then you get those nice crispy edges around the
Mhm.
outside. And you can use the onion leftover chicken in a stir fry with rice the next day and have a shawarma fried rice.
Oh, that is so good. You know, and
That was
the
a
next time
Jerry invention.
we got to get Jerry on here too with you next time. I was
Oh
thinking
yeah, yeah.
maybe next time we could challenge ourselves and actually do some of the show from the kitchen and maybe do a bit of cooking live. That would be a lot of fun.
I'd love that. That would be great fun.
Um, Before we wrap up, I got a couple more of your products here I want to feature. I've got the spicy guacamole spice blend up here. Tell me about that.
Okay, so this is another kitchen hiccup or a part of our romance story. So I had a retail, I do have some product in some retailers. I had a retail customer who demanded that I make her a guacamole spice, which I never planned to do because it's a fairly simple dish to make. Um, and I was making it for her, and Jerry came along and gave me a kiss, and I got distracted and grabbed the wrong spoon. And the spice is 3 times spicier than it's supposed to be, and it's so good, it's a bestseller. So
Wow.
now it's on my table too. We use it to make guacamole, obviously, but more often we use the Alfredo sauce recipe on the website to turn it into a killer pasta Alfredo.
Mm,
Right? And it's also amazing as a chicken rub. And you wouldn't think that, but the ingredients that go into it, that go into making a guacamole, if you remove the avocado and you remove the citrus, those flavors with the fresh ground the dried jalapeno and the other chilies that we've got in there, because there's 4 different chili varieties in there. It's amazing. And it's not too much for that Alfredo sauce, which I thought it would be, but it's not.
that's really good. I want to just remind everybody that we've got a few entries. We're going to draw the winner in just a moment. So last chance is to put your email in for a chance to win the Canadian flavor spice pack from Lexus Pantry. But before we do that, I think there's one more product that you were saying is one of your best sellers, and that's the butter masala spice. Tell
Oh
us about
my.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, the butter masala. I thought I'd brought it down to the show, but I did not. Our butter masala is one of the ones that I worked the hardest on. And if you've ever tried to make it at home, you bought the spice blends, you bought the sauces, it's never quite as good as the stuff you order in.
Right.
Now, I'm not claiming mine is for your palate, but for my palate, it is almost as good. And I talk to restaurateurs, I talk to chefs, I talk to people's moms to figure out what the missing ingredient in this thing was because I wanted to introduce it to my father, who was a hermit on an island in New Brunswick, editing my restaurant guides. And he said, I've never had butter chicken. I don't know what it tastes like.
Wow. I
How
thought
can I edit?
I want to dig in on your father being a hermit on an island in New Brunswick because I figure if you're in New Brunswick, you don't need to go to an island to be isolated.
And yet he chose to.
Yeah, like that is extreme isolation. But maybe we'll save that for next time and just keep talking spice here.
Another conversation about cooking over fire perhaps would go in with that.
Exactly.
So I worked hard to get the flavor profile right so that I could take it home, kayak across the river, build a fire, haul some water, and make butter chicken so dad could taste it and get the flavor that I was writing about in the restaurant guides. Um, and luckily he enjoyed it, but he said, I wouldn't go through all that effort. I mean, it was okay. Nice guy, right?
Yeah,
Real supportive guy. But I'm very proud of it because of the effort that went in and the flavor profile that's there. You can order it extra spicy. I have it at a kind of a white guy level, but that's kind of where butter chicken
mild.
sits. The cool thing about the butter masala is it doesn't have to be butter chicken. It can be butter chickpeas. It can be butter paneer. It can be butter mac and cheese.
Whoa. Hold on. Have you
President's
tried that before?
Oh my god, not only have we tried it, it's I have reviews for the spice blend that just talk about that dish alone. Because if you take and I prefer the President's Choice white cheddar deluxe mac and cheese, but Annie's has a really high quality one too. You want the white cheddar because the orange cheddar has another edge that kind of conflicts a bit.
Yeah, and some bad
Um,
guys in it too, I think.
I'm just saying. So when you make the cheese sauce, you can build it from the ground up, but I'm lazy. When you make the cheese sauce, put in a teaspoon of the butter masala and mix it in, and it is mind-blowingly good. Like, oh my God, good. And the reason we came up with this was because my friend Amare was making the mac and cheese with wing rub. And I thought, well, that's interesting. So our wing rub, that's kind of cool. But that wasn't interesting enough for me because I'm a fussy pants, as I said before. So I tried it with butter masala, and my mind went.
That is
So
cool. I want to try that. I'm going to order some, and I think you all should too. You can click right on the screen to buy the butter masala spice right here on the Super Hour. And uh, Doug says it's making him hungry. It's making me hungry too. I got to tell you. And I got to say, Lex, we're so lucky that you're so fussy because that's what's really made your spice blend stand out. What's made you I think almost at this point, you're a Canadian institution in the world of flavor.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. I'm still small. Well, not me. My business is still small. So hopefully it continues to grow. And I'm excited about working with you guys because the Buy Canadian Group platform is so exciting. As soon as I heard about it, I was all over it, jumped all over it, pushed my in laws to jump all over it. I'm delighted to be a part of this. And thank you for having me on the show, too.
Well, Lex, thank you. And we're just getting started. We're bringing in new brands all the time, and we're excited about really going big to the Canadian public because even now in our pre-launch community, we're seeing so much excitement. Thousands of customers have signed up already. So it's
Oh, yeah.
thanks to merchants like you that we're getting so popular. So I want to thank you again for joining us here on the Buy Canadian Super Hour. And I hope you'll come back again. Maybe bring Jerry and we'll do some cooking next time.
Sounds like a blast.
So thank you so much, Lex. And we'll see you next time on the Buy Canadian
Right
Super
on.
Hour. I'm going to stick around and play some games with the audience. So feel free to join us. Thanks,
Oh,
Lex.
I'm going to play now.
Oh yeah, come play. Yeah, and you can button mash too, as we're going to do the Canadian or not thing. And today's Canadian not or not theme is science and tech, so that should be some fun.
Nice.
Okay,
Thank
thank you, Lex. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was amazing. We're gonna have to wait another 10 minutes before eating lunch because we got some games to play here. In the meantime, you can continue to shop right on screen here on the Buy Canadian Super Hour. We've got all kinds of products from Lex. We also have next week, we've got the folks from Purely Natural coming out. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But we got some of their products featured here today. And of course, we spotlighted the Guess Who. So feel free to purchase some vinyl. Each one of these, there's only one available. So if you want to get it, jump on it right now. But we have a game we play here on the Buy Canadian Super Hour, which is we call the Canadian or Not game. And I think we're going to play a couple rounds of that now. And we'll see how we all do. So as I said, today's theme is going to be science and technology. So the first, and just for anybody who is unawares, what we're doing here is going to bring up a vote. Everyone can hit the buttons and let us know if you think these inventions, these people, these places, these things that we're showing are Canadian or not. All right, so I'm gonna bring up the first Canadian or not challenge, and it will be kerosene. So what we're going to ask you is kerosene a Canadian invention or not? The votes are now active, and we're looking to hear what you think. So far, we've got 5 votes not Canadian and 0 votes Canadian. So we're asking if kerosene is is Canadian. Yes, I know it's an unusual thing, but someone discovered kerosene or invented it. It's not really an invention, but someone figured it out that it was useful. And we were wondering if that someone is Canadian or not. So right now the votes are 8 not Canadian, 2 Canadian. We'll give it a couple more seconds and stop the voting and reveal the answer. And okay, so I've stopped the voting, and the votes are 9 not Canadian, 2 Canadian. And let me find the correct answer here. You are incorrect. Kerosene was actually first distilled in Nova Scotia in the year 1846. So kerosene is a Canadian invention, discovery. It was distilled by someone named Abraham Gesner in 1846, and it was distilled from coal. So that's an interesting fact that kerosene is actually Canadian. Okay, let's move to the next one. I'm going to reset the votes. We'll try to keep this moving at a rapid pace here. We only got 8 minutes left in the show. We still got to give our giveaway out. You can be shopping this whole time. Okay, so the next in our science and tech theme here, we're going to be bringing up our next item, and that is the DNA double helix. So the DNA double helix model, more specifically, was that a Canadian invention or discovery, I should say, or not? The votes are now open. We're talking about the DNA double helix model. So far, the votes are 4 Canadian, 2 not Canadian. It's pretty close here. We'll give it a couple more seconds and make our big reveal. Okay, so we're looking at the double helix model, and we have votes 4 Canadian, 2 not Canadian. That is incorrect. The DNA double helix model is actually was first proposed at Cambridge University in 1953 by Watson and Crick. They proposed that DNA double helix model structure. So that's not Canadian. So I don't know. We're struggling a little today with the science and tech, but there's a good chance to redeem yourself here with a fun one, and that is the hydrofoil. So we want to know if the hydrofoil is a Canadian invention or not. The votes are now active here. You can see the image I've got is a pretty old school image of a hydrofoil. I love some of these old vehicle pictures. So far, we got a shutout, and the votes are coming in overwhelmingly Canadian. So, I always expected the hydrofoil was going to like revamp river travel and lake travel, and we'd all be able to go from, Toronto to Montreal in a short amount of time, or even cross Lake Ontario to Rochester, or any number of Canadian destinations. But no, it never caught on as a big thing. Although I may be wrong. Maybe it's being used in Europe or something. But we're asking here, is the hydrofoil a Canadian invention or not? The votes are 9 Canadian, 3 not Canadian. I'm going to give it 2 more seconds. And we are stopping. And yes, you are correct. The hydrofoil is a Canadian invention and was actually invented by Alexander G. Bell. I wonder if that's the same guy who invented the telephone. I'll have to look into that for you because I know that was Alexander Graham Bell. But anyway, Alexander G. Bell's craft hit 114 kilometers an hour on Nova Scotia's Bras-d'Or Lake, which is a beautiful place, in the year 1919. I'm not sure if the picture we're showing here is literally of the first one, but yes, we got that correct, and we're back on track. The hydrofoil was a Canadian invention. Let's do another one. We want to know if penicillin is a Canadian invention. So let's bring up the penicillin graphic. Let's reset the votes and see what you guys think. So the question is penicillin a Canadian discovery? A lot of these are discoveries, not inventions. I think everybody knows the story of penicillin being discovered by moldy bread. Right now, we have an overwhelming vote for penicillin being a Canadian discovery, 25-0, 31-0. Wow, we are really getting a response here. People are 100% sure that penicillin is a Canadian discovery. I'm going to give it a couple more seconds, and then we will reveal the answer. And we have a shutout here. I'm stopping the voting. 32 votes for Canadian, 0 votes for not Canadian. And that's wrong. Penicillin was not invented in Canada. It was invented in a London lab, London, England, by Alexander Fleming, who noticed mold-killing bacteria in 1928. All right, well, Canada does have some great science, and we have invented, I think insulin was us. I'm probably giving away a future thing. So we've got some amazing science. So even though penicillin wasn't discovered in Canada, Canadians are really leaders in science and technology. All right, the next one, I'm going to reset the votes. We want to know if Teflon is a Canadian invention. So Teflon, I think the formal name for that is PTFE, nonstick coating. So the image I've got here is, it doesn't say Teflon or the nonstick coating, but you can see that egg just sweetly flying off that frying pan with no fuss, no muss. And so far, the votes are coming in. 9 for non-Canadian, 0 for Canadian. We're getting a lot of shutouts here today. We're wondering if Teflon was invented in Canada. Oh, it's getting close. It's now 10 votes not Canadian, 5 votes Canadian, 14 votes not Canadian. There's a lot of action around this one. All right, I'm going to give it a couple seconds, and then we will stop the voting. And the voting is now stopped. And the final vote tally is 14 votes not Canadian, 5 votes Canadian. And that is correct. Teflon was not invented in Canada. And I'm not sure Teflon was a very good invention, to be honest. I think it had some terrible toxicity, but I don't want to get into that too deep. But the PTFE nonstick coating, which was later marketed as Teflon, was invented by a gentleman named Roy Plunkett in New Jersey in 1938. So, New Jersey knows their chemicals. Not Canadian. Next, we have, maybe we'll do one more. Why not? Just to make it an even 6. So we are now going to ask you, is the stem cell a Canadian invention? We'll do this one quickly and starting the voting now. Sorry, the stem cell obviously is not an invention. The discovery of stem cells, is that Canadian or not? Stem cells have a lot of potential in advanced medical science. We're wondering if the discovery of stem cells is a Canadian thing. And so far, we've got a shutout, 18 votes Canadian, up to 1 vote not Canadian. And I'm going to stop the voting. 21 votes. Oh, we're getting a lot of Canadian here. I'm going to stop it in 2 seconds. And that's the end of the voting. Correct. Yes. 21 votes for Canadian. All 21 of you are absolutely right. Stem cell discovery happened at Toronto's Princess Margaret Hospital in 1961. And it was Till and McCullough who proved blood stem cells at the Princess Margaret. So good job. That is the Canadian or Not game for today. That is almost the end of our show. I know we're at 1:00, but I want to just do the draw for the giveaway before we wrap up here. And seeing as, it's not like there's a TV show coming on after this, we can probably go for an extra minute. So let's do our draw. And our winner is going to be Schumacher. So we will pull the email from Schumacher and get you off your spice blend. Schumacher, if you're I'm not seeing the email here in the giveaway, but if you're in the chat room, drop us a note with the email and we'll get that over to you. Okay, so next week we will be featuring a special guest, as we always do, and this time it's going to be the folks at Purely Natural Organic. So we just welcomed these guys into our store last week, and I'm really excited about it. Like, they have the very famous Liquid Greens brand, products. You can see a whole bunch of their products available here in the Super Hour shopping area. Of course, their whole array is available on buycanadiangroup.ca. And next Wednesday, we will be talking to the general manager and the fourth generation family owned member, Joel Thuna. So I'm looking forward to meeting and welcoming Joel here. We're going to talk about some fantastic organic health food products. And we're going to be, as always, celebrating Canadian products, celebrating Canadian brands, celebrating Canada, and helping the Canadian economy. I want to thank you all for joining us today, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the Buy Canadian Super Hour. We're live every single Wednesday at high noon Eastern time. So join us again next week. Thanks. I'm Dave. Peace.